Our next entry into the games that weren't vaults is a game called MegaRace, an ambitious title that was due for release on the Amiga CD32 by Mindscape back in 1994 and was being developed by French programmers Cryo. Set in the future, the game revolves around a VR game show that is hosted by a Lance Boyle, where you participate in a death or glory race over 15 different tracks with 8 different supercars. Something very Running Man-esque overall when you read the storyline. The game was released on the likes of the 3DO and PC platforms, with the PC version released first, but the CD32 edition that was due for release in October would be nowhere to be seen. The title was previewed in many Amiga magazines back in the day and wowed all of those who saw it, suggesting that the screenshots were not just taken from the PC edition, but from an actual playable edition of the game seen on the CD32 itself. The backgrounds in the game were all done using FMV, that would be streamed straight from CD with cars overlaid over the top as sprites, so there was no worrying about having to process lots of different polygons, and is how the CD32 edition would come to look so good. Although leading to some limitations in the variety of gameplay, it was still pretty impressive looking. According to one preview, there was a suggestion that the CD32 edition was going to show up the PC's VGA edition of the game, with a much sharper version of the graphics, with a car that loses its blotchiness, and much clearer FMV graphics for the background. There would also be some fixes as a result from feedback from the PC edition that had already been out there for some months already. According to the one's feature on the game, the better looking graphics would mean that some of the PC tracks would unfortunately have to be dropped. Tragically, the game was due for release around the time that Commodore would go bankrupt, and many CD32 titles would be canned as a result, including, it seems, MegaRace. It is a shame, as the title could have really given the platform a little boost, given some of the advantages over the PC edition. Thanks to the one article, we learned that Lionel Gilliang was the CD32 programmer, with Frank DeLuca and Majid Tahiba on graphics, and Stefan Peak on music and sounds. The producer was Simon Harris. So hopefully we'll be able to get hold of someone involved in the development to learn more, to work out if the game ever got to a completed stage, and crucially, if anything still exists today. Hopefully I managed to get their names correct as well, so apologies if I've mispronounced anyone's name there. So on an old EAB Amiga thread about unreleased games, someone called retrosale.co.uk has suggested that they had a beta version of the game saved from Commodore's UK's offices when they all closed down back in the day. However, they've since disappeared with no further updates. If you know anything more about the development, please do get in touch, and we hope you've enjoyed this video. So with a huge thanks to Carl Curas for flagging up the game to cover, to Amiga Magazine Rack, archive.org and Stephen Stuttard for many of the scans that we've included as well. See you next time and take care.